What's happening? What's good, everybody? Welcome to Shift Out of Neutral podcast once again. I'm your one of your hosts, Tonio the Quiet Storm. We got hosts King Living with Kings, Deuces I'm out, and Q on the line today, as usual, man. We got a good show for you today. I know y'all probably be asking the question after I give y'all the topic. It's called manual mode mindset. So y'all probably thinking like, what you mean about that? Well, we about to get into it, but before we do, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today, man?
Living the dream, living the dream.
Yeah, for sure. I can't complain, taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, man, I can't complain, man. It's good to see the brothers, be back with the brothers, man. It's always a blast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, always a good time when I get with y'all fellas, man. Always. So since I'm pretty sure they're asking the question, what do you mean by manual mode mindset? Well, like I said, let's get into it. Q, go ahead and start them off, man. What's your definition of it?
Well, basically, manual mindset. We gonna compare it to driving a manual car. Now, let's be real. In this day and time, most people don't drive manuals. I'll say probably the majority, 90% of people don't drive manuals, which shows in the car industry because there's not many of them left. But to relate that to the late manual mindset, so in a manual, for the people who have driven a manual, you're shifting, downshifting, you're controlling, where you're going, you're controlling everything that the car is doing. And that's where the manual mindset is. So essentially, we want you to shift out of neutral. We want you to actually be intentional, and you know, just like a car, you shift, you upshift, you downshift, whatever you want to do, but make sure that you're in control and you're not just cruising along being an automatic driver. Passive, you kind of just, you ever get in that mindset where you driving and you go somewhere that you weren't intending to be just because you're used to driving there. Yeah. We don't want you to do that. So
Yep. Deuces, what's your definition of it, man? What does it mean to you?
Man, it means pretty much like Q said, like I've driven manual. I love it, man. You are in control, complete control, man. You're not, it's automatic is a little easy, man. It's a little easy, but when you drive a manual, you're thinking a lot. You're thinking a lot. You know the sound, you know the feeling, and it requires a lot of thinking, man, and not just being like a bot, man. You outside the matrix. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Hey, the matrix is deep, man, but you in a whole different headspace, man. And like you said, just not coasting, be intentional, be determined, and just it's a whole different ride, whole different vibe, whole different lifestyle, man. When you driving in a manual,
that's you locked in, yeah.
You're locked in, yes.
It's like in yeah. Everybody may not know this reference, but like in Biker Boys, where like he was locked in on the bike and he saw, you know what I'm saying? He saw his path and he was just
tunnel vision.
Yeah. That's what that manual, you can't just let stuff happen. You ain't settling for the life that you were given. You make your life. You control how
hands, all in your hands, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Living with Kings, man. Go ahead and give us your definition, bro.
I mean, Deuce and Q kind of hit it on the head. I'm trying to figure out where do I piggyback off of. But just you know, when I think about just like the manual mode mindset, which is like a nice play on words, and it just make you think about everything in life, and you know, just having that mindset of everybody just live this automatic lifestyle where it's just like you gotta stick to the, you know, the stereotypes where it's to provide examples where, you know, I've been struggling with. I just entered my 30s where I was supposed to have a kid by now, and I was supposed to own a home by now, and I was supposed to do this by now, and I was supposed to make this kind of money by now. I was supposed to do all these extravagant things, but it's just like, who set that standard for me? When that was the automatic mindset that that was portrayed to us as kids, where it's just like that manual mindset is where you just like, if you had to think about it in the reference of a car, you think about when you put your car in manual, how much thinking you got to do, where if your mind slipped at one moment, it's over. You don't shift at the right time, your engine is done. And I think of the reference in, you know, On the Road to Riches, but everybody think that road is straight, where it's going to be curvy, it's going to be bumpy. So I just think of that manual mindset. It's just like that shifting, where it's just like you gotta just keep shifting. Life is about shifting. So it's like stuff. There's going to be a bumpy road. Things are going to happen. Life is full of ups and downs. Life is about, you know, things might happen in your life that you're just going to have to shift. One thing might be happening this way that you're going to have to shift. That saying that we live off of is, you know, you take 2 steps forward to get knocked 3 steps back, but you never get stagnant and keep moving forward, even though you keep getting knocked 3 steps back. So I think that's just what I think of the definition of, you know, this not living to the stereotypes, live your life on the shift. If you have to shift, keep shifting. Yep. Because as long as you keep shifting, that car going to keep going, and you're going to get to that destination, because that car is going to allow you to just keep shifting.
Yeah, you don't want to, you know, piggyback off of that. You know, you don't want to live life in an autopilot program. So, you know, you get in a plane, you know, you get up to a few thousand feet, wherever you're supposed to be. I ain't no pilot, so don't quote me on this. You know, like you get up there, captain gets you up there. He ain't flying that plane the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He flip a switch. He probably lay back and be like, all right, we get there. He probably monitoring stuff and whatnot, but while he back there checking on y'all, ain't nobody flying that plane. You know, it's just, you know, I don't even know if they have autopilot in cars. Probably in like Teslas and stuff like that. But I ain't never used something like that. But yeah, you know, you don't want to get in that autopilot, because that's an issue in life. You know, you start being stagnant. You start getting stuck in routines. You let others make decisions for you, like Living with King said. You know what I'm saying? Who set that standard? You know, like I'm 30, so it's like, man, you're supposed to have, like, I mean, I can't count how many times I've showed up to a family reunion. Even my younger cousins, they got like 2-3 kids, and they're like, "Q, where your kids at?" I'm like, man, when I get a little bit of money, maybe we'll have some kids. So, you know what I'm saying? They're like, you know, oh man, you ain't bought no house, nothing crazy yet. Hey, hey man, it just is what it is. Like, who set that standard? You know, you're supposed to have a certain amount of money by a certain amount of time. Everybody's path is different, and your path is unique. But you won't get to where you're trying to get to if you don't, you know, take those risks. Those, like, whether it's leaving that job that you hate, you know, just in reality, you know, maybe some people hate their jobs, you know, or maybe it's taking that vacation that you've been putting off for the last 5 years because you said that you can't afford it, but you really need to take that, you know. Maybe it's going to see a doctor. You know, some people avoid going to see the doctor or the dentist or something like that. I mean, it's a thing. So maybe you need to go on. You never know. So, you know, and I'm a firm believer in, you know, don't take the life that you settled for, because when you look back, you know, they ask that question in interviews, where you see yourself in 5 years.
Yeah.
keys don't unlock new doors. If you continue doing the same thing over and over and over again, in 5 years, you're gonna be in the same spot. Unless you get lucky and something happens, you know. But my thing is live life with no regrets. And just for me, you know, and just in my own personal life, I've been like my job, like I've been in corporate America, you know, just giving a personal example. I've been in corporate America for years, you know, since I graduated, even prior to graduating college. And I've been at the same company now since going on 7 years. I make a decent income, you know, I'm doing good, you know, I'm doing well, but it's like living with King said again, you know, I hit 30 and I'm like, just got married and I'm like, bro, is this money enough? Is it stress enough?
Yeah.
Am I taking enough time for me? Am I working too hard? Is this the job that I want to be in for the next 5, 10 years? You know, is this the company? Is this the role, the career? Like, where do I want to be? You know, so just really being intentional about those decisions, being intentional about like my relationship with God and really talking to him about, I really believe that every person put on this earth has a purpose.
Yes.
And so if you don't, and a lot of people die without ever finding out their purpose. I mean, we all have an expiration date. And so if you don't get out of that autopilot, you may end up somewhere that you don't want to be. And you ain't leaving a lasting legacy after you're gone. It's just like, well, he was here, you know, she was here.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you know, I've really been just, you know, saying a personal experience. I've really been thinking about that for the past few months. Like, is this it? Is this it? Like, am I really accomplishing the goals that I set out? You know, if I say I want to be a millionaire, would this get me to a millionaire? Like, you know, if I say, you know, I want a $500,000 home, is this getting me to that goal?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be active and like I said, intentional in where you're trying to go, because a lot of us set goals and we don't ever accomplish it. When you in a manual, it's different, you know. Like taking a back road, you hearing every upshift, you hearing every downshift. You know what I'm saying? You wait to that last moment where the RPMs just right where you need to shift. You know, it's a more enjoyable experience. Whether the car is fast or slow, it's a more enjoyable experience to shift yourself than it is just to sit there and be passenger.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can add two more things, and then I know you want to add on too, Tonio. And my bad to cut you off, dude.
Go ahead. No, we all here. Go ahead and do your thing, bro.
I just got two more things to add what Q said, and this has been heavy on my heart too, because you know I'm at a point where I don't consider working in the university space, corporate America, but the one thing I always used to tell my family and my friends is like working in the university space, there's over 2,000 universities in this country. And I have a plethora of options to go no matter where I want to go. It's just I have to decide on my location or where I want to go, where I want to raise my family if I decide, because I know in the end, my goal was to get into the university space so my family, my kids can go to that university for free because I put 15 years there. That's the benefit of me working in the university space. So one of the two things I wanted to add is like we cannot get comfortable. Never get comfortable where you at, because once you get comfortable, you get, like Q said, you get stagnant. Then that means you're not in the mindset to grow. That means you're not trying to find new challenges. You probably at work doing the same thing, and you sitting there. You will probably, whatever you do in life, you're probably doing the same regimen every day. You just like, I'm bored now. What can I really do? Yep. And the last thing is, I've been struggling with this, is understanding comparison is the killer of all joy. You comparing yourself to everybody in every life. You walk outside, somebody got this nice ass car. You compare yourself like, dang, I wish I had that car. Or somebody been at the job longer, so they get more responsibility than you. That's gonna kill you. Or people, they got this nice house. Their house better than mine. Or once you start to compare, that's when you start, putting yourself in that mindset of just like, this person is better than me. When that, you never know what that person's situation is and how many years it took for that person. And I was reading something today. It's just like, you decide to live in your 20s, build in your 30s, so you can actually chill in your 40s and your 50s, is the proper lifestyle to live, because you set yourself up. So those are a couple of things I want to add as well. And I'm gonna let Deuce and like Tonio chime in because I want to see what y'all have to say as well.
Yeah. Deuce, go ahead and add to yours, Deuce. Go ahead, man.
All right. So based after listening to my brothers talk, Q and Little Kings, it hit me, man, like the song Life is a Highway, man. Life is literally a highway, man. And automatic, it's like automatic, you just coasting, you in general traffic. You got traffic. Traffic is like the obstacles in life. You know what I mean? But when you drive a manual, you can move at a different speed. You can adapt to the different traffic patterns, man. The obstacles in your way, man, it just hit me, man. I was like, man, but and then like it's thinking about what King said, the traditional life. Like, I'm about to be 30, and I don't have a family. But who says we gotta have that? Man, who says we gotta move the traditional way? Q was like, automatics are common. That's the common. That's traditional. Manuals ain't really common. So you moving differently. You know what I mean? You're moving different, and you're not moving in the traditional way. And you don't have to. You move at your own pace, man. Do what makes you happy in life, and never settle. Like Lil King said, never settle. You don't ever have to settle, but be determined and comparing yourself. You don't gotta compare yourself, but everything's achievable at your own pace. Hey, life is a road, life is a race, man, but you gotta pace yourself. Olympic athletes, what they do? They pace themselves, man. You know what I mean? So that's just how I see life, man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'm about to piggyback off all y'all. Cause far as manual mode mindset, I'll start here. Far as the name of the podcast, Shift Out of Neutral, it wasn't dealing with just cars. It's dealing with life situations. For when you first born, hey, you here, that's one step. You start crawling, that's another step. You start walking, that's another step. Start going to school and stuff. Hey, you're shifting gears each time, man. I mean, everything is in steps. So that's the way I take, pretty much being, Shift Out of Neutral podcast. That's what it's meaning. And then the manual mindset is basically setting yourself up for your life. You go to school, you're learning your ABCs, you're learning your numbers, you're learning how to do different stuff to whatever career you want to do. When you're growing up, when you're a kid, you be like, hey, I want to play football, I want to play basketball, or I want to be a lawyer, be a doctor or something. But then as you get older, stuff starting to change. Your goals start to change a little bit, from being a young Thundercat to once you get older, you start to change. Your goals and stuff start to change. You're like, well, I did say I wanted to be a lawyer or something when I was little, but now, the way life is and the way, the things that I like, I think I want to go here and work on computers, So, hey, or, some people say, they want to be a police officer or whatever when they grow up, but then they mind change, afterwards, they be like, nah, I don't want to be no police officer. They be doing too much and all. So, but it's basically, I take it as taking steps in life. setting, like y'all said, setting yourself up. Um, pretty much, you definitely gonna have, you know, your ups, like Limit King said, you're gonna have your obstacles, your bumps and stuff in life and what have you. But you know, you try to live your life the best way possible, and you know, you're living for God as well, because He's in you. So it's like somebody always say, you know, you got a born date, you got the dash in between it, and you're gonna have a death date. Is what you do in between those two dates. That's your legacy right there.
Life
So
is made of choices, and no choice is still a choice at the end of the day. So I mean, it's
yep.
just is what it is. So I mean, you can look back and be like, you know what, I did the thing, or you can look back and be like, you know, I know people, you ever meet that person that 40, 50, 60 years old, and now they sitting back and they be like, man, if I was your age, if I knew what I knew now, your age, I'd do something different. You know.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. There's been a lot of times that I did it. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm the oldest one on this crew. I'm 47 years old now, but hey, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still learning, still trying to pick up stuff, trying to make myself better. You know, be better for me, my family, or what have you. You know, so hey, that's one thing you don't do. You don't never stop learning, because if you stop learning, then that's it. But you know, that's one thing people say, I don't want to learn nothing else. Hey, I'm telling you, that's your legacy that you're talking about. So if you don't want to learn nothing else, then what you gonna leave?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I can be, and it's crazy because as I think about it, like 5, 10 years ago, I hated that I was getting older. I really did. Because I wanted to, it's like I had this young, dumb mindset that I wanted to be young my whole life. Because I was afraid of not shifting to full adulthood, basically, and having the mindset to shift to the mindset from 20 to 25, and now to the mindset I have at 30. And I sit here and think about a lot of the dumb stuff I did at 25. I regret it. I don't regret the decisions I made, but I sit here and be like, dang, that was some 25-year-old stuff. Then I think back when I was 20, dang, that was dumb. And I'm like, dang, is this what entering 30 is? When you start to sit here and start thinking about the shifting that you have in life, because this another thing that I've learned as well, got getting older, you start letting people go too. Those friends, that shifting your mindset, but also shifting the relationships you have with family and friends that you think about. It's family members that we was like this growing up. Now we're older and all adults, and I'm like, I can't remember the last time I actually texted you, called you, and it's just like I don't agree with the decisions you made in life. I don't agree with it. That don't make me not love you less, but it's just like, it's another shift that I had to adjust to, and understanding like you will have to let friends go. There's some family members you will have to let go because you don't agree with their life choices. It not could be negative life choices, but it cannot be. Everybody's not going to be on the same wavelength as you as well. So that was another shift that you have to adjust to. And you know, when you on the trajectory that you are on, you have to. If it's somebody's going to hinder you for where you want to go, and it's like the mindset of these are what my dreams and aspiration is, and nobody's going to stop me from getting there. It's like I got to a point where I shifted to I love being by myself now. I don't like being a part of big crowds anymore. I really enjoy like my personal time and my solitude of being by myself. Like I'm a solo dolo. I'm a lone wolf that like I had to tell my boss that don't take this personal where I and be by myself and you catch me just by myself. Don't take that personal.
Right.
Don't think of it as like I'm being closed off or anything. I just enjoy at the age where I just enjoy being by myself. I enjoy my own time and just being literally in my head and talking to myself. And that's another thing they say. If y'all don't know, they say all geniuses talk to themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how they pretty much, when you talk to yourself, that's how you kind of hearing yourself, and then you also thinking too, be like, hey, that was good. And and then it's like, hey, I need to take heed to my own advice, so hey, it ain't a bad thing to talk to yourself at all, especially if you're speaking it out, because you're hearing yourself, you be like, and like you said, it make you think. It definitely make you think.
Yeah, and
and talking to yourself will get you out of a lot of things. Like you'll stop yourself from like, nah, I shouldn't do that, or I think I should do it this way. Oh, I should do it that way. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I always say like, the further do this and God gave us free will. When he put Adam and Eve in the garden, he gave them free will. They made their own decisions. He didn't force them. He's not forcing us to do anything. It's a choice to follow him and do what we need to do. And the same thing is in life. Don't waste the gift that God gave you of free will. So, you can make your own decisions. Don't let nobody take that from you to make decisions for you, because you will always regret it. Take it from someone who, even when I got older, a little older, we all usually have parents that, we grow up with. Some people don't, but, I would like to think that majority of us usually have at least one parent or somebody who raised us that, we grow up with. And, I remember me growing up, a single mom. And when I went to school, I used to always call my mom about stuff. My mom tell me this and my mom tell me that, but my mom didn't tell me that if I follow her decisions and something happened, she ain't got to deal with it. I got to deal with it. So, do this instead of that. Do this instead of that. I can live with making a decision and it be a mistake, but I can't live with somebody else making a decision for me, and then I make that decision and then it's wrong. And I'm like, I can't go back and be like, oh yeah, such and such told me to do this. I got to deal with it at the end of the day. But to keep moving forward as well, though, I think we all gave personal examples. But before we, get to the end, I want us to give examples to you guys on how to shift into manual mode. 3 steps at least. We all go around, say one thing of how we think people can shift out of shift into manual. And I go with the easiest one. You got to find out what you're avoiding. Let's be real. Just going back to my personal example of my career, I've been chasing money for forever. I mean, when I was in my young, I used to work 3-4 jobs. When I was in college, I worked 3 jobs, including work, study on campus, and I was a full-time student. Man, my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, if I asked for something, she'd be like, you ain't making no money in this house. It's my house. You know what I'm saying? When you make your own money, then you can talk about something. So that was my first thing when I graduated high school. Well, I'm gonna make my own money. I'm gonna buy my own video games. I'm gonna buy my own stuff, and you can't say nothing about it. And I chased money for, a long time. And so, job to job. And so at this point, I realized, 6 years, like I said, I'm 6 years in. And I've really been avoiding the decision, to be honest. I think God been working with me. I've been like, oh man, I really, I'm here. I make decent money. I can do a little here, I do a little here, but God really been working on me on some things. So like, you just need to step out on faith. I done told you before. What I'm saying? I done told you before and what to do. I understand you scared, but you gotta step out and do what you do. I got you. And so yeah, you gotta figure out what you avoiding.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yep. Living with Kings, what's your take on that? What's your one thing?
My one thing, which I'm gonna provide a little example. I don't think I told y'all this story, but kind of like a little bit different from Q on when you are shifting and you're in this automatic mindset and you're about to, shift into manual mode. We have to do a deeper dive in understanding why you're shifting into manual. So my word is why. And to provide y'all an example of my kind of route and my journey and my story was kind of different. So unlike everyone else, I actually grew up with my grandmother. I didn't have a dad. I didn't have a mother. So my why was I needed a reason to let my grandmother know I'm not making the decisions that my mom did and my father did, and also my family did. So I wanted to be the first person to ever say, hey, grandma, your grandson made something out of himself. I didn't follow the route of everybody else. So my why and why I chose to do what I do and chose to be successful, to be a first generation graduate, first person out of my household with a master's degree and everything, is because I wanted to do it for her to like, hey, I actually have somebody to be proud of. She isn't here anymore, but I know she's up there like, hey, my grandson, he's the only person that actually did something. He was the only person that listened. And that was like my why. So when you have this shifting mindset, find what your why is. And that's what's really going to motivate you every day. And this is I say this to myself every day before I get up. If you're ever unmotivated to get out of bed, anything, go to that mirror and talk to yourself and be like, you're one day closer to whatever that goal is. It could be anything. It could be one day closer to that vacation that you're looking forward to. It could be one day closer to Friday. It could be whatever. Just find out what your why is. And that's what kind of motivates me every day. It's just like, I'm one day closer. My goal is to be an athletic director at a big university. So I wake up every day like I'm one day closer to that goal, understanding like I will be there. So my why and why I shifted my lifestyle in being a young Thundercat, as Tonio would say, and switching my lifestyle and having that mindset of like, hey, I need to do this for my grandmother, and this is why, because I watched my family make the wrong decisions, and I wanted to make the right decision.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Breaking those generational curses.
Yes, definitely. Deuces, what you got, man?
All right, man. I like what everybody has to say, man. Like, very inspirational, man. It's tough to come behind it, man. But dang,
I know you got one.
Yeah, I got one. Okay, so I was like what Q said, determination, boy, motivation. But all right, what I was thinking about was ain't nothing wrong with being different, man. I really stand on being different. Because you don't have to go the traditional way, because everybody, like you said, we shifting, we shifting in the gear. We on the road. It's always multiple destinations, but it's always different roads to get to that destination at the end of the day. So, you move how you want to move at your own pace. And you just gotta self-evaluate and think about what you want in life and how you gonna get there. You know what I mean? Everybody, some people on the same stuff, as far as what they want in life or career, but you lock in, you be the best you can be, and you figure out how you gonna get where you want to get and how you gonna achieve it. People didn't know this about me, but my family done came a long way, man. We came from a lot of we ain't always had bread. We weren't always the wealthiest people. I think my uncles and my dad and all that, they always tell me project stories. So it was amazing how my dad, he pushed hard to make sure I ain't grow up in the hood like he did and all that. And but I growing up, I had to hear no a lot. I ain't like that, I'm like you said, I mean, I hate to be I hate to sound like a brat, but it sucked. It sucked. So yeah, you had to lock in, become a man, and make your own money. And now, it ain't it ain't no excuse why I can't get what I want when I want it. You know what I mean? So the determination and figuring out how to get it, man, the right way. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Life is manual mode. That it's in your hand. You know what I mean? It's in your hand now. That's life. That gear shifter is your life. Well, it hands. Okay, let's say the hand. Your life is in your hand. The shifting is the process on how to elevate. That's pretty much what it is, man.
I like that.
Never settle.
I like that.
I like that.
Never settle. Never coast. Keep on pushing the bar. Like Tonio said, between the time you were born and to the finish line come, you keep on upping the score, man, and elevating and taking it to as high as you can. And so that's all I gotta say.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely some words of wisdom coming from all y'all fellas, man. I'm gonna jump on in. Far as for me, man, what I want the people to know is, far as through their life, is be intentional. What I mean by being intentional, don't do something that somebody else wants you to do. Do something that you want to do. So don't try to follow somebody else's dream when you have your own dream. So being pretty much, be intentional about yourself and what you want to do in your life and not what somebody else wants you to do, to kind of piggyback off of you, or don't live for them. Put it that way. That's what I'm saying. Don't live for somebody else, but live for yourself. So, because the only person that got to answer to anything is going to be you. If you make a mistake, you got to answer to that. God tell you to do something, and you don't do it, you got to answer for that. So hey, I mean, my thing is to be intentional about, the things that you do in your life, and keep moving forward, man. Because like Deuce said, those steps, those bars, you set your own bars. When you set goals, you set your bars. So definitely be intentional on how you're going to reach that bar, that next bar up that you have for yourself. So, and that's what I got, man.
Yeah. And I just want to,
there's a saying
I just want to round it out with, like Tonio said, you got to be intentional, but start making those intentional moves today. Like in a car, you shift in the first one gear at a time. So it's a book called 1%. 1% better, do 1%. And I think Living with King said, you look in the mirror and you're like, hey, I'm a little closer today. 1% better. So every day, wake up, do one thing at least that gets you closer to your goal, no matter how small it is. I heard someone once say that when you wake up in the morning, take the easy wins. In the military, they tell you to make your bed. And it may sound simple, but it's an easy win when you wake up and it puts you in the right mindset. So, every day get 1% better. If you want to save $100,000, by this time, okay, well, how much money do you need to save every day, every week, every 2 weeks, however you want to do it? Buy one of them little books that you can just slide money into day by day. 1% better every day, just like you shift in the first, shift in the two, and then so forth on. And what you'll find is that once you shift, you keep on shifting, it gets easier and easier over time. So just apply to that, apply to that job. It can apply to, it can do anything. Like I said before, pay for that vacation, apply to that job, sign up for that class. I know plenty of times, like I know I used to want to be a detailer, and I was like, man, I went there, I was like, man, the class only $1,200. It's a week long. Just sign up for the class. I never did. But just sign up for the class if that's what you want to do, But yeah, be intentional, do that 1%. Think of the end goal, but life is made up of choices. So the end goal only is what you do before that. You don't jump to 6th gear. Hopefully not. But and even in the gym, you can look at all those, like Living King say, you can look at all those people in the gym. You go to the gym and they in there, neck swole, everything. They in there just with the guns out and everything. And you walk in and you're like, man, bro, they looking like that. But you don't know that they've been in the gym for the last 10 years. So start where you are, but just start. That's the key. Start where you are, but just start, because it'll get a little easier every time. And if you're consistent with it, you'll get there.
Yes,
and like the new age kids would say, when you hit your goal, once you hit it, say to yourself, I've hit my goal. Now it's time to step on. Now it's time to step on next, humbly and respectfully. Now it's time to step on next, but also having the mindset of the whole gym mindset, and how many people don't live your life often off of the New Year resolution. Because how many people have New Year's resolution, and then by it's January 1st, you make a New Year resolution. By February 1st, you already talk about some man.
That's
have a New Year resolution every day. And that's just how you just have to shift your life. You cannot live with the New Year resolution, because people, we are not creatures. We are creatures of habit, and the habit we are known to create for ourselves is we say one thing, do it for a couple of days, and then that's it. But we don't understand that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So it's just we cannot live our life off of shifting one day, making these, I'm gonna make this goal, and then you hit the goal, and then you're like, oh man, okay, I hit that goal, and that's it, and then you don't do nothing else with it. It's like we have to keep elevating, keep striving, and keep going. Like I was just telling somebody that
you gotta make a reasonable goal too. So like, if you say something like that's unreasonable, that you never gonna hit, it takes away your confidence, and you don't ever get there. That's why I say do that 1% better every day. You know what I'm saying? Be 1% better than you were the day before, because that little progress over time, you add up 1% 100 times, it's 100%. So if you get better every day, be better than you were yesterday. And like I said, set that reasonable goal. If you be like, hey man, I want to save $1 million in 12 months, it may not be reasonable with you. You gotta look at your income and what what you're doing or what you're gonna do to get there. I know they say shoot for the stars and land on the moon, but I find that it's somewhere in between there that you need to find a reasonable goal that you can actually accomplish, because it comes down to a mindset. You don't want to defeat yourself. Like they say, success is a mindset first. If you don't believe you can win, Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So, that's why I say start with those little goals, because also the more you do that 1%, the more you realize, and you start seeing progress, the more you realize that it is possible, and it gives you more confidence in, okay, I can do this. And you can start building up confidence to do bigger things.
Yep.
3 G's right now. This is where I'm going, and this is the last thing I got to say. The 3 G's that everybody can take is keep glowing, keep growing, and keep going. Glowing, growing, and going. That's it. That's just how you got to live your life moving forward.
That's good. That's good. This is anything you want to add, brother, before we wrap it up?
Shoot, oh man, a whole lot's been the buffet's been laid out, boy. Yeah, a lot of great things, man. I don't have much, man. A lot. You know, we done said a lot of great stuff already, man. A lot of stuff to soak in, man. I hope the people really feel motivated and be determined after seeing this, man. So
Yeah,
I love it.
cool. But yeah, only thing I want to add, man, and we got this in our notes is take control of your life. So take control of your life and, you know, be successful at whatever you want to do. So that's all I have for that.
And make sure you join us next time. Antonio, I'll let you say, you know what I'm saying, make sure you join us next time for the next podcast. And I'll see the floor to you, Tonio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a good one because I'm gonna tell you we're gonna have some guests on here. The ladies gonna be talking about them in the car community, so y'all definitely want to tune in for the next podcast. And let's talk to these ladies out here, man, because you know the men trying to push them out, but I'm telling them they going harder than the men. So y'all definitely tune in for the next episode. And far as this episode is going to be a wrap, and we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in, man, and appreciate y'all watching, man. Fellas, man, as always, man, I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all, man, and we definitely have fun when we doing these, and we definitely looking forward to the next one with y'all, man. So,
For sure.
So on that note, man, we gonna holler at everybody later, man. Y'all have a good one.